Hey guys, welcome to the Travel Wisdom Podcast. Now, today we're going to be talking about a very dear subject to me. I'm going to be talking about Georgia. Oh yeah, Georgia. So, people ask me like, "Oh, Ladan, you've been to 80 countries and counting, and which one's your favorite?" And I only have one answer. That's Georgia. And this isn't the Atlanta, Georgia, or the Southern United States, Georgia, but this is the former Soviet Georgia. Basically, this is south of Russia. What is that? East of Turkey, north of Iran, and by the Caspian Sea, Aral Sea, or Black Sea, and Azerbaijan. So this is where it is. It's kind of, I guess, central Europe. It's kind of on the border between Europe and Asia a little bit, but it was absolutely amazing. I really loved traveling there, and me and my friends, me and my two buddies that we traveled there, we originally intended to go for 5 days, but we stayed for 5 weeks. That's how good it was. So there's a lot of reasons that I really liked it. There was the scenery, the people, the hospitality, the activities, the cost, and the alcohol, of course. So yeah, I mean, there's just all these things to do, and it's so many cool things to do. I've only been there that one time for the 5 weeks, but I kind of don't want to go back, and I'll tell you later because I kind of think it might kill me. But anyways, the scenery is absolutely amazing over there because they have all sorts of different things. They have beautiful river valleys, hills, big fields, lakes, huge mountains, like snow-covered big mountains, and beaches where you can go like suntanning and everything like this. So yeah, in Batumi they have a beach, and yeah, we went there, and that's where the former Soviet you know Politburo and all this kind of these big time people. That's where they would go for vacation. They would go on the Black Sea and they would go to Georgia, and then literally like 3 hours away, is Tbilisi, which is full of valleys and huge rivers and everything like this all around it. And then 2 hours, 3 hours to the north is Kazbegi, which is a beautiful mountain range, which is where Prometheus, who brought fire to man in the old Greek legends, where Prometheus was chained up and his liver was eaten every day by an eagle, and then every night his liver would grow back, and then they do continue to eat it. So it's in this legend, but it's absolutely beautiful up there too. It's just huge snow-capped mountains, and I think we were in there in like June or July or something. It was still quite cold and quite icy and everything. Like, I can only imagine what it would look like in the winter, and it would be an amazing place to go skiing and snowboarding as well, because it's really nice, and the entire village was very nice. Yeah, and then like I said, the beautiful river valleys. I can't even describe it how nice it was. And Vardzia, which is like this ancient cave structure thing. There's caves in the walls, and or caves kind of dug out into the walls, and the old civilizations used to live there, and there's churches dug into it, and we stayed there for some time too, and it was a lot of fun. It was really cool and very beautiful. Lots of history over there. So there's just so much to do. I mean, this is a country. It's not very big, as I said. I mean, it takes you maybe 3, 4, 5 hours to get across it, and this is not the fastest roads either, so it's actually pretty small. And so yeah, this is one reason. This was the landscape, and also there's a river that we went river rafting, and that was so much fun. The people are great too. I mean, you get really nice people, and they're so hospitable. It's unbelievably hospitable. They are probably the most hospitable people that I've ever met with or talked to ever. More hospitable than the Turkish people. So they just love you with everything that they have. They're just like, oh my God, I can't believe you. I'm so happy you came to our country, and all this. So it was a really a big pleasure to be a part of that. And I mean, we were drinking a lot, which I'll get to later. But on the 20 to 30 minute walk home, we would be invited by 2, 3 people, into their homes, into whatever establishment they were drinking at, or whatever alley, or I don't know, whatever. I mean, it was safe. There's never any idea of not being safe, but it was just unbelievable, and they would share whatever they had and just wanted to talk to you and everything like this. And even we were coming we were in Gori, which is the birthplace of Stalin, and we talked there to this sheep herder. We came in there. We told him, we're like, hey, we want to leave our bags. We don't want to walk around all day with it. Can we leave it at your place, or do you know a place that we could leave it? He's like, yeah, I'll leave it at my place, and so it was really nice, and he seemed legit and everything. He seemed very nice, so we trusted him, and we come back and the bags are still there, but he made dinner for us, and we're just like, oh wow, this is unexpected. We didn't, we kind of wanted to head out right away, but probably not. Okay. So he made dinner for us, and it was great. And then he busts out his homemade wine, and it's God, I think between the 4 or 5 of us, we drank like 6 or 8 liters of wine or something. It just kept coming and coming and coming, and we'd finish something and just more and more and more, and there was just so much food, so much alcohol, and then they brought out well, I'll get so yeah, we ended up having a great time there. We dropped off somebody that we had to drop off, and then we kept going until the middle of the night, and eventually we went to the sheep herder's I guess wife's house or something like this, and he's like, you guys need a place to sleep. There's no more buses going, because we were wanting to go somewhere else that day, and so yeah, it was quite unbelievable, because he actually kicked out his kids out of their beds and sent him to his mom's bed, so that we could go sleep in the kids' beds. And I think one of our friends slept on the kitchen table, and I slept in one of the beds of the kids. And I mean, it's kind of nice. Like, it was a very nice thing to do, I would say. But yeah, I mean, kind of a dick move, but I saw it as a very hospitable thing. Like, he took us into his home and did all these things, very nice things for us. And so yeah, I really enjoyed it. So yeah, the hospitability is unparalleled, I would say. And finally, I would say the alcohol is pretty crazy. And so I was there when I was 20, so I feel like I drank more at the time than I would now, hopefully. But man, the drinking culture there is so unbelievable. I mean, beer comes in 1.5 liter bottles, and people just like drink it, like crazy. And then they have that was the first time I got drunk off of beer over there, which completely blew my mind. I didn't know that was even possible. But they have vodka flowing like water. But really, the thing you should be careful about is cha-cha, which is usually a homemade kind of brownish liquor, and it can be anywhere from 40 to 80%. And it can be homemade as well, and you can buy it. But you can buy it in the shops, which means you can buy it. I think we even bought it for something like maybe €4 a liter or something like that. It was really cheap, 3 euros a liter, and no, maybe even less. Yeah, like 2 or 3 euros a liter, and then it's just unbelievably strong, and everybody drinks this like water, and it's absolutely unbelievable. Actually, one of our friends, she was something like 23, 24, something like this. I guess she drank so much that she had like liver pains or something like this, which isn't a good thing exactly, but it's just so crazy that somebody so young could have something like this. But yeah, it was absolutely crazy. Such a good experience. So many cool things that happened, and I mean, maybe a lot of that was fueled by the alcohol, but also not. I mean, we weren't drinking that much, I would say. There was a lot of just genuinely cool experiences. The river rafting, the going to the mountains, and all this, and yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I want to go back. But the thing is, I also don't want to go back, because I don't want it to spoil my initial idea of what the country was like, because I loved it so much, and it has such a high place in my mind that I don't want to, I guess, shatter it with reality. But actually, the guy that we were staying with, we were staying with a couch surfer in over there, and he was from Vienna in Austria, and he was actually a big reason that we were able to stay for so long. But he said he came later, and it was just as good as he remembered it. So maybe it really is that good. But yeah, the reason we were able to stay there so long, or the reason that we did stay there so long, was we were actually trying to get a visa to Azerbaijan, and somehow we had to have a flight going over there, and this was very expensive, and blah 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 blah, and it was just causing so many problems. And then the embassy was only open on certain days, like Tuesday and Thursday, and so literally there would be a week that would go by just because we were waiting for it to open, and then open, and then we talk, and then we have to go figure out what the next steps are after we get maybe some bad news or something like this. Um, so that was a big reason. Also, I met a lady friend over there, and that was really nice. And so she was really really cool and everything like this. So I kind of kept everybody back because I'm like, oh, I really like this girl. I want to stay over here, and I want to. She's been great to show us around and everything like this. So that was another reason. And just honestly, Georgia was so cool, and we met such good people. The couch surfer that we stayed with, he was actually a university professor. He was like a visiting university professor at the university. He was teaching German, and so we at the end actually we were able to talk to his class, and they were all learning German, and they spoke English as well, a lot of them, and then I got along in Russian because I speak a little bit of Russian as well, which they speak Russian because they were former Soviet, but otherwise it's Georgian as well. But anyways, they were putting together a play, and very interesting play in German and everything like this. And we just became great friends after that. But generally, I would say the contact there were just amazing. And from the very beginning, we had such good friends, and everybody was so warm. It was unbelievable. So this is probably why we liked it. I mean, literally we came there and we had like 10, 20 people, and then at the end of it we had like 30 people that we could hang out with at any time. So it was maybe great for that reason as well. Finally, I actually a thing I forgot to mention before was linguistically, it's a fascinating country as well. I mean, they have Georgian. I mean, that's the language over there. And the great thing about Georgian is it's not related to any other language in the world. It's like Basque, which is in the Pyrenees Mountains between France and sorry, I need to cease. Between France and sorry about that, guys. Between France and Spain, there's the Pyrenees Mountains, and they speak Basque over there, but it's not related to any other language. So same way Italian and Spanish is related, or even Turkish and English is kind of related. But I guess this is like completely a separate language family, which is crazy because the entire Georgian language only has 5 million people. 5 million people speak Georgian, and they also have a crazy script, which all looks like loops. It's all like omegas. Omegas in the Greek alphabet, and so it's absolutely crazy. And they have really really crazy sounds. They have t, p, and k. These are all letters in their alphabet, so you can actually sound like your throat is being cut. Actually, that's how they described one of these letters. It's like, imagine your throat being cut. So that's the sound that you make, for this letter. It's just like, oh, that's interesting. So yeah, absolutely amazing country. I could not recommend it more. I had such a good time there, and so many great people, so many great concerts. And although we were there in 2009, which was a year after Russia invaded, actually, Russia decided that Georgia was part of its territory, and so it invaded. And even with this, I would say it was still quite interesting, and there was no aspect of safety problems or anything like this. I felt completely comfortable going there, and it was no problem at all. True, I mean, a lot of the buildings did seem to be quite damaged. A lot of them were bombed out. I don't know if it was a natural cause kind of thing, if it was just wear and tear, if it really was some kind of bomb. But I think that Russia did not get all the way to Tbilisi, which is the capital of Georgia. So I think the other places more in the north, which is like South Ossetia, which is still, I guess, like a war zone, and Abkhazia, which is along the Black Sea. Abkhazia is actually trying to become its own country, and you have to get special permit to go there. And we had a fellow couchsurfer that did go there. And then South Ossetia. These are I would say the more dangerous places. But if you more or less stay in Batumi, Tbilisi, Vadzia, like Mitskheta, all these kinds of places more in the south, I would say it's a lot less dangerous. And I mean, we walked around at night, no problem. And we were there for a month, so if something could have happened, it probably we would have had some aspect of danger or something. But it really nothing would have ever happened, and it was really good. But I mean, you could see it on the people that they were, I guess, battered a little bit and maybe because of their opportunities as well, they didn't have as many opportunities, so they were just always drinking, which was really cool. But also, I mean, there might have been a depression aspect to that, but it was just really cool. Like everybody was drinking all the time, so everybody was always in a good mood, right? And even the taxi drivers were drinking. Okay, listen to that again. Even the taxi drivers were drinking. Like active, I am on the job, I am driving a taxi, I am drinking. And it's like 2 p.m. and they're drunk, and smart us, we jump into a taxi with them, right? But yeah, it was absolutely interesting. It was kind of crazy. I mean, we should have known what the taxi situation was like over there and the driving situation, which is absolutely crazy. Like I've never ever seen a place so crazy in my life. Actually, probably I have, but I mean, like people running red lights and like literally doing 180, burning out spin, like tires screeching in the middle of an intersection, in the middle of a green light. Like you have a red light, but everybody else has a green light, and you're doing all this kind of stuff. It's absolutely crazy. And our first taxi driver going into there, we gave him a lot of money, but I mean, he probably deserved it. But man, it was he had this beat up BMW, and it wasn't until like 5 minutes into the ride of him looking for our place that we finally noticed between ourselves, like he has five distinctive braking patterns or breaks in his windshield, like five places where a big piece of mass, a big object hit it. I don't know if it was a person, I don't know what it was, but a big thing hit the windshield 5 times, and it's just absolutely crazy. So we're all like, did he hit 5 people with the car? Because the way he was driving, it really seemed possible that maybe he hit 5 people with the car, because it was absolutely crazy the way they were driving. But it was also kind of fun, it was really cool. And I mean, like literally there was times that we took videos, like we hop up on the sidewalk and we're just driving along the sidewalk. I guess there's too much traffic, and we're just driving along the sidewalk for like 5-10 minutes, just because it's faster, that's just, why not? And so yeah, it was absolutely crazy in this way, and I found it a little fun. Maybe now I'm a little bit older and more a bit prudish and would not be down for this kind of, I guess, dangerous and exciting stuff. But I found it very, very exciting. But yeah, I mean, everybody's always drinking, and it's actually kind of a sad story. Our neighbor that was with the neighbor to the couch surfing flat that we were, the apartment that we were at. He was just always drunk out on the porch. He's just always, and I knew we had a couple good conversations, everything like this. But one day he took me in to see his son, and his son was quite, maybe from the war or something like that. He was quite infected. I mean, he had his arms, I think, partially amputated or something like this, and then it was swollen as well, like the size of a watermelon. I mean, this is like a 10-year-old kid. No part of his body should be the size of a watermelon, and so that was kind of an eye-opening thing as well. So there was definitely some hardships over there, and that's maybe why he was drinking so much as well. So I mean, but I mean, not everything is so sad over there. Literally, I mean, I feel like I've dwelled on this a little bit too much, but really, like, it's an amazing place, and the people are so great because they're always drunk, they're always dancing, they're always doing all this kind of stuff. And I guess the legend that they told me at the very beginning, and it didn't really sink in, like, holy crap, this is true, was when God, I mean, this is their legend of how Georgia started, and I absolutely believe it, that God was making the different countries, the different lands for all the people. Okay, Germany, you get this land. Okay, Africans, you get this. Okay, Asians, you get this. Blah 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 blah. Italians, and then Nigerians, you get this piece of land. And I really like you, so I give you a nice piece of land. And he's like, okay, it's time to set back and be in paradise. I made the best land. I kept it for myself. And then he notices, like, oh shoot, I didn't notice this. This last group of people, they were having so much fun, they were drinking so much, they were dancing so much that they didn't come in line. They didn't claim their land that they wanted. So you know what? I'm gonna give them my land. And that's really what it felt like when I was over there. Was just like, this place is absolutely amazing because just so green, and the people dance and sing and drink so much, and just so jolly all the time. So really, this is an unbelievable thing. I cannot emphasize this enough, is if you want to go to a place and you want to go off the beaten path, I mean, okay, Paris and Europe is one thing, but if you want to go off the beaten path and still somewhat stay pretty safe, I would say, even now since 2009, it's been pretty safe. But go to Georgia. Go to Georgia. Absolutely. I mean, the English, you might not be able to get around with English so much. Maybe only about 30% of the people can speak English, but I would say about 80-90% can speak Russian, which if your Russian's okay, then you can practice your Russian. They speak very, very nice Russian, very clean Russian without an accent, without slang because it's their second language. And so that's where my Russian got very, very good. And in 1 month, it improved. It was just like boom, 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 boom. And so I highly recommend it for this as well. And Georgian, like if you want to have a dab, if you want to have a try at Georgian, good luck. That's going to be a really fun language. Like just for the linguistic nerds, that's gotta be one of the most interesting things out there. Um, so yeah, definitely check it out. Definitely Tbilisi, Georgia, and just all those places around there. As I said, plan for 5 days, stay for 5 weeks, or plan for 5 weeks and stay for 5 months. I don't know, but really, it's an absolutely amazing place, and I cannot recommend it more highly for everybody that wants to travel and wants to see something a little bit more exotic. That's the place. So hopefully you guys like this. I'm going to be doing more of this kind of I guess self-indulgent stuff like what I did and what I've learned and everything like this. This is the first of this, like where I've traveled and everything like this. But I wanted to start it off on a high note, something that I'm really excited about, and maybe set the bar really high for the rest of it because there's just no other words for Georgia, Gruzia, or however else you say it. So absolutely check it out, guys, and don't take my word for it. Travel there yourself. I hope you enjoyed this. See you guys. Ciao.